Continuing on, I've completed the input uh, plumbing, and I'll take you again back from the pump. Continuous flow pump. These pumps will never shut off. Then the pump runs up here. I have the 3/4 that goes in for recirculating. I'll turn that down tight enough so I have the right amount of pressure going into each tray. So I come off of the T here and I go from 3/4 to 1/2 inch. And you want to have your input water at the opposite end of the output. Along in this line, I do put in a check valve just so if the power does go out, these trays will not siphon all down into this holding tank. I will have slightly more water. Each one of these trays will hold approximately 20 gallons of water, and I'll want to keep another 20 to 25 in my nutrient tank, so that'll give me 65 gallons, and that is more than this poly tank will hold. So I put a check valve in there to prevent the backflow of water down. Okay, so the water comes up the 1/2 inch, and there is on each tray there's a shutoff valve. And I like these ball valves because I will adjust those slightly in order to make sure that I don't overrun my drainage at the other end. This is 1/2 inch going to 3/4, but I'm having two outputs off of this, and they can run. I want to run with some force to create a river effect within the tank. I want that flow to come through. So from the valve I come over and I go into two different ones. I've tried it with a single. I found that I had dead spots in my water when I had the single outflow. So I've gone to two, and that really does seem to work a lot better. That it comes out to this end, and the water will fill up to about 4 inches and run over into the drain and go back down into the tank. Again, that's for each one of these trays. I have the exact same setup. So it comes in, splits off. I can adjust those then to whatever flow I need. That flow goes over and goes back down into the drain, where it goes into a larger pipe in order to pick up some oxygen. The water gets oxygenated and goes back into the holding reservoir. So that's how it is set up. I have the lights all hooked up. I will put a timer on the lights. The lights will run 22 hours a day. They're off 2 hours to let the plants rest at the darkest time of the day. And then the pumps run 24 hours a day. These hot water circulating pumps take very little electricity, and because the lights are LED, the amount of power for this unit is extremely low. So at this point, I'm ready to do my water test. I'm going to fill both tanks to make sure that the tanks don't leak, or trays, and then I will pull the plug so they run into the holding nutrient reservoir to find out if I have any leaks in those drainage connections. Once that's done, then I'll power up the pump and test to make sure I have no leaks in the high pressure side of the input. So there's testing to be done now before we go to the next step, which be to put in the floats and to calculate up the nutrients.